We are Steve and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 1975, and today we're talking about why we don't have any trouble at all finding land deals. And a little later in the episode, we will talk about, well, I'm wondering if, are you part of the rat race? The entrepreneurial rat race. We all know what the
regular rat
W2
race
rat race is.
Totally.
I've learned recently.
Or the education rat rate, like people who are just like nonstop college students. I understand. I mean, I don't understand it, but I know that.
Learned recently and been researching. You'll learn the result of all this. The fact that this rat race thing is real, and it's also primarily in our heads. And so if you run the rat race, here's a spoiler alert. If you were running the rat race in a W2 environment and you become a startup expert, or you attempt a startup or an entrepreneur, you need to check and see if you're making that a rat race for yourself too.
I'm super curious. So is there going to be an entrepreneurial twist to this that you've done some research on?
Yes, I have so much to say.
Well, that's normal. That does not surprise me at all.
Each week on the show, we answer questions from our Land Academy member Discord forum. We review land acquisitions from our weekly member webinars, and we take a deep dive into 2 land-related topics by popular request. If you want a sneak peek of our Discord forum, go to landacademy.com. It's free.
Cool. And by the way, if you would like some help, getting started, or you have a question that you want to see here, send a note to my team via support@landacademy.com. So Dave wrote, does anyone in the group have experience with raising and using private funds to purchase a large property? I'm looking at raising funds from a few acquaintances to purchase a good-sized property, over 100 acres, in a desirable mountain location that can be subdivided into 10 to 20 acre parcels. The preliminary numbers are pretty good, but I'm really just wondering about the logistics of how to structure the deal, as far as setting up the fund entity, what kind of compensation I should build into the deal as a fund manager, and anything else I should be aware of. I'm not soliciting for funds here. By the way, I already know who will be investing. I'm just asking for advice since I haven't done anything like this yet. Thanks in advance.
This question goes to the very root of my soul. Around June or July of 2014, Jill and I were in a Los Angeles suburb on the beach, wondering what we're going to do with the rest of our lives, because we're buying and selling land and everything was going great and is going great. And that has been unchanged in an uninterrupted manner. So we're on vacation and I look at her and I say, what would you like to change in your life? What would make you happier next week versus this week? Where is this all going? And she said, geez, I'll tell you, she said, I'm obviously paraphrasing, we have more deals than we know what to do with. Our kids are doing great. We have time on our hands. There's food on the table. It'd be great if we had limitless capital. I'm paraphrasing. She didn't use that term. I think she said, I'd like to spend as much money on buying land as I possibly can.
Heck yes.
Fast forward to now, the end of 2023, and we have limitless capital that taps right into this question. This question is why we started Land Academy, so that we could personally use private equity in a very effortless way. So if you've ever used private equity to redo a house, simplest version of private equity I can think of is hard money. You go to a hard money lender, you got a great house, you're going to flip it, you're buying it for $300,000, it's worth $500,000, you got to put $100,000 in. You go to a private equity lender, they charge you 10% up front. They want you to put 20, 30, 40% of the deal up sometimes, and on and on and on. And by the end of it, you're banging your head against the wall and the contract's a quarter inch thick. That's not private lending. Private lending is, Jill comes to me and says, you have an extra $150,000 because I'm going to buy a piece of land. We'll probably convert it to $200,000 or $300,000. In, let's say, 60 days if some stuff goes wrong. What do you say? And I shake her hand and we do a deal. That's private lending to me. So we set about in 2015 building Land Academy. We didn't set up to be an educator. We created like-kind investors to do deals with. That's what Land Academy is.
And then we showed them our way of doing deals.
What we realized is that that's exactly right. What we realized is that why don't we show them how we do it and send their own mailers out so they can come up with amazing deals like we do. And we can start funding other people's deals. They fund our deals. We all have a sense of, like, that's what the 6 A's are. We analyze transactions in a similar way. And we leave out the kinds of deals that we don't want to do. Right. Jill and I are not interested in developing anything. We are land people to our core. And so people used to bring us all kinds of stuff as a funder. And I used to get incredibly distracted at, I don't know, some marina that was for sale. It's silly. You can waste all kinds of time on that. The fact is, we buy a piece of land, we do nothing to it, we don't go there, and we resell it for more. That's our business model. So the question here is, has anybody had experience utilizing private funds? So I feel very qualified to talk about this. It's because it's in our souls. This is what we do. In the Land Academy environment, we do deals with each other all the time. What we don't do, and I'm not picking on you, Dave, here, but I'm trying to set the stage for how much money we make, how many deals we do, and how it goes on within our group. Buying properties that are over 100 acres that in a mountain location, and nowhere in here does Dave talk about the acquisition price and the potential sold price and the time frame.
True.
So and those are the things that I don't even want to have a conversation about it unless those things are right up front. I'm going to buy this for $500,000. We're going to own it for a year, and after it's converted, I'm going to sell it for $750,000. I'm out.
Based on those numbers, you're out. That's
it.
But if he said buying it for $500, I'm going to sell it for $1.2 in 90 days.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you have my attention.
Maybe not. That's kind of on the higher end for us. So, but I'm still listening. And so it can be that, and should be that simple. If you're brand new to this, you're probably saying, what the hell?
Why would you turn that down?
Why would you turn it down?
Yeah.
Why are you being an a-hole about it? And on and on and on. Because that's the way deals get done.
Because I can.
And that's the type of people that are involved in these groups. And we all do well.
And we do those deals. That's my thing too. Every deal, but if it's that big, it should take that long. No, it shouldn't.
No.
Doesn't have? No. Find another one.
If it's exactly, Jill. If it's grossly undervalued, I'm still listening. So.
Can we answer the question though?
Go ahead.
Okay. So to answer the question though, I, by design, do not involve people that don't understand my world. Sounds like you're putting together 5 of your family members in this deal because you got the money and you're trying to figure out how to structure it, make it fair. I would like to first caution you. We have many people in Land Academy that have given lovely stories of how awful this worked out. Like, I can't believe it. These people don't understand it. It's taken too long. They're looking over my shoulder. They don't get it. Yeah, they don't. So for my first thing is careful who you're taking money from, because the majority of the planet, I will not take money from. I really don't. And honestly, I don't need anybody else's money. But the times I have used other people's money, it's because I knew them very, very well. They were in our world. And it's like, hey, let's go in together on this. Done. That'd be kind of fun. And then we split the profit, and it's all real. You know what you're working on. I know what I'm working on. We have a good plan. Both of our names are on the deed and all that stuff. So this is what you're asking, is what you need to ice out. If it were me, I would want to be on the deed, the same as everybody else. Say there's 5 of us. There's nothing wrong with 5 of us going on the deed. If there's 5 of us, we're all putting in $100,000 equally. I mean, this is the way I would love to see this done. Let's just assume it's $500,000. Everybody's name's on the deed, and you decide ahead of time too, who's going to be the manager. It sounds like it's you. Maybe one other person too that you run things by, not make all the decisions, or have a clear outcome like, I'm going to be the manager of the deal. I will do all this, all whatever roles you're going to do. And I will not sell it for less than fill in the blank kind of thing. And then the nice thing is the other 4 parties involved don't have to talk to you. They know that they're not going to hear from you until it's done. And they're making at least fill in the blank that you agreed upon, and spell it all out. Everybody's going to be paid out of escrow. All that stuff should be clear and concise and easy. And it's not that hard. You could do a 2-page, partnership agreement where everybody signs it. And that's really all you need.
This is structurally a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I'm worried about it.
And actually, the way Jill simplified it, which she's very good at, makes me feel worse, not better.
Oh,
Here's what you want to do. You want to find somebody that you really understand. The way that you would pick a girlfriend. We understand each other. The same stuff doesn't seem to bug her that bugs me. We complement each other. We're much better people when we're together. Great. You got the personality thing down. The person's got a bunch of money and no interest in sending a mailer out. So they have lots of money and you have tremendous amounts of talent in locating transactions. A perfect complement to each other, or vice versa. You have tons of money and you've got a person that's standing there in front of you saying, we've got these 13 deals and let's together pick 1 or 2. I like these 2, maybe these 3, I'm not sure. And here's why. And what do you say we do these deals together? And that's it. That is private equity, private funding. What you'd never, ever want to do, and I'll end it on this, we'll get to the topic, is raise capital, raise $10 million, put it in a bank account from somebody, because you can go do this. You're a half hour away. Everybody listening to this is a half hour away from being in this position. Yep. I know how to buy and sell properties. Look over here. Look at these deals I did. I did 10 of these deals. My return on investments, triple digits. I'm going to go raise some money. I'm going to raise $10 million and I'm going to provide a 10% return on that 10 million. 10% return is nothing. I just generated 120% return on this last deal. Well, here's what you're going to find yourself doing. You're going to be in a position where you're going to pay 10% on that 10 million, whether it's placed or not. So you are naturally going to start to make bad acquisition decisions to place that equity to get that return. And believe me, it'll end in tragedy. There's very, very, very few people that can make good decisions with tons and tons of money in their pocket. I'm quoting Warren Buffett on that. The worst decisions I've ever made is when I had a bunch of money in my pocket. And I absolutely agree with that. It first becomes a relationship. Jill and I, by the way, are related. And we do business with each other pretty effectively because I stay out of her way. She stays out of mine. And I respect her decisions. And she, about half the time, respects mine.
Silly.
Choose your partner really carefully. And deal by deal by deal, do deals together. Don't get a big pot of equity and start going to spend it.
That's funny. Well, at least he's got a deal. He's got a deal iced out, but it's a few acquaintances. I got to tell you, Dave, this is a recipe for disaster. Yeah. It really is. So let me know. Hey, you know what, Dave? Please keep us posted as you go through this whole process, because I got a pretty good idea how it's going to end. You're going to be mad at them, and they're going to be mad at you.
Well, let's say it all works out. I've seen this happen too. Let's say it all works out, and everybody gets a check, whoever's involved.
Okay. How long is it going to take?
Half of them are going to be really jealous. They're going to be, well, Dave's an expert at finding these deals.
I'm going to try to do this times 10.
No, well, that. Right. And then the other half are going to say, when's the next deal, Dave?
Yep. Yeah, come on.
Well, you just made me $150,000. When's...
Right.
Are you good at this or not? Because I have to place the next money.
That's
you
fair.
Suck, Dave. This all ends. Thank you for letting us pick on you, by the way.
Sorry.
I'm sure you're going to... Yeah, I know who you are, and he's an active member here and successful. Yeah. I don't mean to imply in any way that you're new at this. It's just people are unpleasable unless you're in a situation where you're in it, both of it, like Jill and I.
And
that's been my experience.
It. I hope that people right now are in Discord replying to that, like, let me tell you about the last deal I did
there's 20,
with an acquaintance.
There's 20 responses
and
in Discord.
we don't speak. I'm out of the will, whatever it is, because that more often has been the stories that I've heard.
If you buy a piece of property, double your money, and somebody else's money is involved, they're going to be liquid jealous that you did it, or they're going to expect you to immediately do it again.
True.
They're not going to give you a kiss on the cheek.
Or it's going to take too long. That's my other thing.
Yeah,
it's going to take
or
too
you didn't
long.
do it right. That's
right.
Yeah.
And they need to be there too. I want to be around for that. You're going to a zoning meeting? Well, I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's just another
kind of funny.
Real world real estate investing Wednesday. That's what we should call this. Meanwhile, by the way, everybody's getting wealthy as hell.
Totally.
They're just unhappy wealthy.
I don't know, Dave.
Those two things shouldn't go together.
You know what the bottom line is, Dave?
Wealthy, happy.
You know what? Here's the bigger picture. Do you feel a financial obligation to these acquaintances?
I love this, Jill.
Why are you helping out acquaintances?
Yep.
You could make one phone call.
Exactly.
In Land Academy and have one partner who really understands you and says, I don't want to be involved anyway. By the way, that's like how, I'm not promoting us, but I'm just saying there's a lot of us in there. Like, I'll stay the heck out of the way. I don't want to be around for it. You do all the work. Call me, Dave, when it sells.
The only equity partner, we've had tons of equity partners. The only equity partner that I've ever chosen to continue doing business with is Jill.
Thank you.
And it's because we have separate talents and stuff goes sideways. And she says, yeah, I get it. That went sideways. Yeah, and I say, yeah, I get it. And it went sideways. And so let's whatever happens here, let's just keep moving forward. We'll do another deal and figure it out then.
No big deal.
Resentment goes on with partners.
I'm going to really follow Dave on this one. It sounds all great right now. Like, I'm just trying to save you, Dave.
You know what? I don't mean to be negative because private equities partnerships are the greatest thing. Again, I come back to this whole full circle.
It has to be the right people.
It has to be the person who you understand and understands you.
Who is in your world. That's the only way it's going to work.
Today's first topic is why we don't have any trouble finding land deals. Geez, this taps right into that question.
Totally.
Why don't we, Jill?
Oh my gosh.
I know why.
This topic this is never going to go away. Ever. That people are like, what do you mean you create deals? We create deals that aren't there. Oh, like on the MLS? No. That's already there. Somebody else created that deal, not me. People just don't get it, and it comes up so often. I was talking to Christopher on our team about some of the people that he's spoken to recently, and a few investors I spoke to just last week. And they're like, they still can't wrap their head around this. And so I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I want to hit it home, everyone. We are creating deals and have no trouble doing it in any market of any size, of gosh darn near any dollar amount and any type.
Why?
If you told me tomorrow.
Why?
Because we know how to.
Why?
We know.
It's a secret.
Let me back up. What is the secret?
No, what's the secret?
Oh, well, hold on a moment. Let me back up. He's like, what are you talking about? Do you mean, Jill, I could come to you and say, I need a 10-unit apartment building in this county in one of these 2 zip codes kind of thing, and I want it, this is what I need. I'd be like, okay, give me a couple weeks.
I'd say give me 45 days.
Yeah.
I'll have 3 for you to choose from.
Yep.
Don't expect the price to be perfect.
And they aren't on the MLS.
Expect one of the attributes about whatever apartment building that whatever order I'm trying to fill for you to fail. So if there are 3 or 4, and this goes with land deals too, I absolutely agree. I have 100% confidence in myself in sourcing a transaction just like that.
Well, you know what though? The money will make up for it. So hold on a moment. You say, Jill, I need a 10-unit apartment building in LA County in these 2 zip codes. Done. Did you, what else you want? What else? That's it.
And what are the variables? And so that would be my question.
Well, it has to be.
This isn't about us.
At 80% or less of current market value. Well, I could really do that, by the way.
80%?
80% or less.
That'd be tough, Joe.
Give me a moment. Come on.
Might be empty then.
Yeah, that's okay too. I'm gonna find you something. So let me back up. Let's not focus on that part yet, but just focus on what I'm trying to get across.
I'll stop interrupting you.
Thank you. There you go. Let's not focus on my words. Let's not focus on letting me get out some words. Just kidding. But the whole point is we know how to source these deals. And let me back up and tell you why. I'm sitting next to a data acquisition machine. Nobody is better than this man at digging into these counties, understanding what's going on in there, really looking at the values, picking on up at the nuances, and putting together artwork, mailers that'll go out. And say you want LA County, by the way, let's be honest here. You want 3 apartment buildings, 1 to 3 apartment buildings, 10 units. So we're going to send out, 40,000 units of mail.
That's a good number.
Okay. So
that's a great number.
Thank you. That's what we're going to send out to try to find you those 3. Not nuts at all, by the way. That costs us $20,000.
How many phone calls are you going to have to take on those 40,000?
I'm going to take a lot of phone calls.
How many, really? What do you think?
A couple hundred.
That's what I think. 200 is the number in my head.
A couple hundred phone calls. So, and I'll get them, man. And so it's a 2-part. Why we don't have any trouble finding these deals? This guy's a machine. I don't care what you need. We'll find it. And then you got me that when they answer the phone, if there's a deal there, I'm going to get it. I will find it. I will get to the bottom of it. If they want to sell and maybe they don't love our price, but there's some really good price and some compelling reason why adding a little bit makes sense, but it makes sense to us on the end. Like, okay, now I get you. You're close to the Galleria. All right, I'm in. That is worth a little more value, but we're still going to make our same spread on it. I can do that, and I will uncover those deals, and I will get them in escrow. Period. And I will make them hug us.
So why do you have so much confidence?
Years of experience. And I have you. It's
what if you don't? What if you're
good question.
What if you've only done 5 or 10 deals?
I know. You know what? This is a very good question because
I'm allowed to talk now.
I will help people. I will show you. I will coach you. I tell people this all the time. In a perfect world, you come to Land Academy and you're already a successful investor. I'm just going to say it right there. This is really who we are. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make your business better. You're like, you know what, Jill, I've been trolling the MLS, trying to find these stupid things. Every morning you get up at 5 a.m. You know who you are. And I get on the MLS going, am I going to be the first one to call? You know what? Somebody got there. You're already paying a commission. You're doing this. You're running around chasing deals. You know what? That's the wrong way. You could be, we can show you how to do this better. So back up to who the perfect landing campers is. That's been your mornings. And you come to us like, thank goodness. I work for, ABC home buyers or, whatever REIT kind of thing. And I'm struggling to find deals. I got to place all this money. I don't know what I'm doing. And then that's who we are. I'll help you. And that's who I want to help. And we're here for you.
That's what I was going to say. Like, here's the thing. We're not going to show you how to do this. What we're going to do is mechanically explain to you the steps to take to be successful.
Right.
There's about a 10-step process that starts with finding an area that looks like it might be conducive to making the type of profit margin that you want. I want to buy a piece of property for $30,000. I want to sell it for $60,000. This is what you do. You do this, this, and this. You look around on Zillow and Trulia, and I'm not going to go through, or Zillow and Redfin, Realtor. I'm not going to go through the steps. If you want to learn all about this, it's all within our content on Land Academy. Step 1 is that. Then you get the mail out, and you have there's a right way and a wrong way to do that. But then there comes a time where the people who receive these offers in the mail, are going to pick up the phone. And it's that moment, and it's not even a minute, it's a moment where they're going to decide if they're a real seller or not. And that is where Jill comes in. And
That's why they picked up the phone, I'm going to argue.
And she's going to, first of all, they got a rationally priced offer and it looks professional and all that. That's my job. But that moment where they talk to Jill or whomever, whatever Land Academy, whoever they are, her years and years and years of corporate sales experience come out. And they either have a great conversation and a little euphoric moment at the end of that conversation, or they don't. It comes back to a couple of things. And this is a real answer to the question why we don't have any trouble finding land deals. And really, you need to ask yourself these questions. If you have a dynamic personality like Jill does on the phone, you're going to be great at this. In fact, you probably already know that. You probably were voted most likely to succeed in high school or some kind of corporate sales situation. If you're older like us, you've been getting rewarded for doing something or selling something or having that personality in some other professional environment. And this would just be a logical extension for that. The people that can't find or have trouble finding these land deals, it's not because they can't price a mailer. Because I can teach you how to do that. I can teach almost anyone who knows Excel or has a flair for database or script. I can teach that. What I can't teach, and Jill likes to think she can teach it, but she can't, is having a dynamic personality. You can fake it. If you're an actor, you can fake having a dynamic personality on the phone, or you can learn how to do that. But do you really have one? I don't know.
Or partner with someone.
We don't have trouble finding great real estate deals because I have the data piece done and Jill's got the personality piece done. And I used to do it, I will tell you factually, before Jill and I joined forces, before whatever it was, 2008, I used to do this all myself and not half as well. I got through it.
So the thing about what you just brought up about knowing who you are and everything, you could partner with someone too. But my whole point today is I just want to hit it home, everyone. You don't have to be hitting your head against the wall like that. Again, if you're a professional investor, you're buying some kind of property type and because there's so many people out there still driving for dollars, still trying to be the first one to call when the sign goes in the ground. I'm like, breaks my heart that you're spending so much time and energy and money that you don't need to be doing. We really... I mean it. It's so easy for me, it's a lot of mail. Sure, it's a lot of mail that goes out, but you know what? The percentage of calls that come back compared to the mail that goes out is diminished. It really is. It's a really good, we have it down to a really good system. Think about it. We're talking 40,000 units go out, 200-300 calls come in, big deal. And out of those 200-300 calls, I'm going to get 40 that, all right, we might be in this, we might have something here. You're liking my number, I'm liking your building, let's go down that path. And that's how I could say, all right, we're going to buy these 3 and it's going to fit your criteria.
If you've been or are really successful at whatever you've chosen to do in life, there's chances are you're going to be really good at this. If you're here because you want to find out if you have a dynamic personality and see if this is right for you, this isn't the place for you.
Right. Or you're here because you're just like, I see Grant Cardone driving around in a Rolls Royce and a jet, and he's doing real estate deals.
What is it about Grant Cardone?
I don't know.
I do.
Oh, do you? What is it?
He's got a dynamic personality.
Oh, that's true.
He's a formerly trained accountant.
What is that?
Grant Cardone
is he really
has twice, Oh,
I didn't know
he's
that.
Big 3 accounting.
Did not know that. He does have a dynamic personality. That's true.
A dynamic personality 10 times what Jill and I have.
Well, thanks.
He does.
I know. But yeah.
Let's take a look at one of our favorite land acquisitions from our weekly Thursday member webinar.
All right. So we are in Effingham County, Georgia. 22,000 purchase price. Says we can sell it for 100. Knowing Herbert, I believe that to be true. Acreage 6. Highway access, yes. Okay. Adjacent residential homes to the rear, commercial property to the front, a gas station and a Dollar General. Huge potential for commercial rezoning. Wetlands and FEMA. Highway and residential street access. Gas station, convenience store, and Dollar General Cross Highway. Raise alive. Sellers sold the commercial lot nearby to Dollar General in 2020 for 1.3. Planning and zoning mentioned that our parcel has significant wetlands, which is not developable, and the parcel is entirely within the flood zone A. So is the gas station across the street. The realtor says all three do not think rezoning to commercial will be a problem because the county is friendly to this. One mentioned that the county is pushing through a lot of commercial rezoning because of development coming from Savannah, and the seller sold the commercial lot. We got that one, Savannah and the port. He thinks it'd be worth rezoning. Lots of commercial buyers are paying $20 to $60 an acre, 60,000, an acre within 15 miles to the port. We're about 20 miles away, but he thinks we can still get a good price of around $100,000. Residential selling 10 to 12,000 an acre. One suggests pricing right under $1,000 for quick sale, max 125. He mentioned the Hyundai plant that's being built nearby, and the area is expecting a few thousand new jobs in 2025. I love all of this recon. This makes me so happy.
Great job.
It's great. I'm totally on board. So the point is rezone to commercial.
Yikes. Yikes number one.
Because then they have the means to deal with what's needed for the wetland changes. Is that the plan?
I guess. The wet thing really concerns me a lot.
We're buying this for 25.
22. But the same person sold a property across the street for 1.3. So they know there's 1.4. So that really, really concerns me. Like, why is this so much dramatic? This seller clearly sees no value in this land.
True.
And saw $1.4 million worth of value in a property that they own across the street.
Or they cashed in across the street and now they don't care and they like Herbert.
It's a beautiful story, Joe. There's a lot of questions here. Really, the question it comes down to for me, if I were looking at this, do I want to spend $25,000 by the time it's done to roll the dice to see if I can make 100? Because it's not really.
That's all it is.
You're not really rolling the dice, but it's not that bad. But you're taking a pretty substantial risk.
That's the only question.
It's the wet thing that
it's
really.
The wet
me.
thing.
And then the other thing too is there's a lot of dirt here, tons and tons of street frontage dirt.
Yeah.
So this really concerns me. If it was $5,000, I would say just buy it and forget it and try it. But there's just nothing here too. See, the Dollar General is the only thing here, and there's no houses. I wouldn't buy this.
It's just outside where the port is. It's just outside of the hot zone, is what Herbert's saying.
Hey, it turns out Jill and I were real frustrated several years ago about the commercial printing company that we were using to send out our offers. So we created our own. It's called offers2owners.com. We will get your mailer in the mail. Let's take another question posted by one of our members on the Land Academy Discord online community. Again, if you want a sneak peek, go to landacademy.com. It's free.
Okay, so Sid wrote, I've mailed about 30,000 letters so far this year. I have
This is not great. Sid. You know what? I made a mistake.
Oh, it's not Sid?
No, it's somebody else.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sid, and I'm sorry for whoever asked this question.
Okay, whoever wrote this question, we will give you credit later. Thank you very much for sharing it. Okay, so this person mailed about 30,000 letters this year. This is great. These are real numbers. I purchased 11 properties, including one I did deal funding for someone else. And I have 4 more under contract to purchase. How great is this? This is like wonderful numbers. So I'm buying something on an average each 2,000 unit mailers. Okay, but it seems like been nothing to buy for several months. And then a pile of them. Like I go for a few months and then I have a bunch. I go for months and then I have a bunch.
Absolutely normal.
Yeah. I'm not sure why. I'm aiming for doubling my money. And it doesn't always happen. Sometimes I get less, sometimes I get triple. That's like perfect. I think there's a lot of luck in this model, at least until you get it figured out. Oh, I think it's perfect.
Oh, sounds like you made a bunch of luck for yourself.
Well, I'm like, is it so bad if you, let me just think about this one. If I buy for 100,000, I sell for 180,000, did I fail? I'm going to go with no. If I buy for 50,000, I sell for 150. Yay. We love that. But these numbers. Sometimes I think that you come into our world and you get a little bit desensitized, if that's the right word, to our returns. And you're like, oh, I screwed it all up. What are you talking about? Oh, I paid 50 for it and I only got 100. I was going for 150. That's all I got. I'm like, stop right there.
There were 20 responses, probably 20 responses to this in Discord.
You did great.
And every single one of them were just like that.
Yeah. Everybody and think about Costco. What do they make? Like 5% maybe?
Why is it that as entrepreneurs, as business people, especially in this country, we expect everything to be so consistent?
True.
We look at our first month, we look at February, and we look at March, and then we look at the first quarter. Okay.
That's good.
Let's line it up against what happened last year in first quarter. Let's line it up against month over month, year over year, and on and on and on. And you expect it to be consistent and better. I have to tell you that's not what most companies do around the world. Toyota has a 200-year plan. The people who started Toyota are or will be long gone before it actually materializes into what it's supposed to be. So I don't expect us, every single person in Career Path, which is the advanced, pretty severely advanced class that Jill and I teach, the ones who are there making millions of dollars a month, they all say some version of what this person just said. I don't understand it. I sent all this mail out. I did a bunch of deals. Then it's real dry for a couple months. And then I had 9 deals that came in. That's just the nature of this.
This is normal.
The only way to solve this, in my opinion, is to send out so much mail that you're in a frenzy all the time, choosing which deals you want to do. And people do that.
Mm-hmm.
So the experience that this person is having, so do I.
I like the frenzy. That's going to be my new thing, frenzy.
The experience that this person is having is exactly the experience that you can expect. Sometimes we smash it, sometimes we don't. And then all of a sudden I'm doing a bunch of deals. Maybe I should send out more mail and more mail after that.
The bottom line is you take your numbers, right? At the end of the year, you add it up, divide by 12. That's how well you did.
I love that. Jill, that's so smart. Because now it's not January versus February.
No.
If you have a convenience store, you might expect month over month 5% increase. I don't know if there's a snowstorm, there might be less. If there's some pandemic, it's going to dramatically affect your year. Those things happen. I really think divide by 12.
Yeah.
And make sure, because that's actually what I do. And I just now that you mention it, I really look at our year. That's it.
I know you do.
And if in 6 months, I'm like divide by 6, multiply by 12. Mm-hmm. I'm not satisfied with that. I'll slam the mail out. Just slam it out to make sure that we hit that year-end figure. That's exactly how to look at this, Jill.
Mm-hmm. That's really how well you did.
Today's second topic, are you part of the entrepreneurial rat race? We all know what the rat race is, I hope. And we all sit around and say, I can't stand to get out of this rat race. My commute sucks. I drive an hour a day. I don't make as much money as I should. I'm constantly wondering where all my money's going. My taxes are too high. On and on and on the rat race. I got to get out of this. I got to start a company. I got to buy and sell some land. I got to do something. My wife's never happy. I know all of these things because I went through all that. My question to you is, do you transfer that mindset into your startup? So now you're an entrepreneur. Now you've got this startup. Do you transfer all this the mailer didn't come out how it should. The deals that I'm buying don't have any access. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. Now you're a part of the entrepreneurial rat race. And so the real problem is inside of you. That's the problem. Because we have packed members that have disassociated themselves with the regular W-2 rat race. There's 2 of them right here. And have not repeated that.
It's true.
You can, when you have control, and here's how you separate yourself, in my opinion. When you have control over your destiny, you don't have a boss anymore, It's a lot like college. It's up to you. It is up to you and you only to get a grade in a class. It's not, well, the teacher's teaching it wrong, or this textbook is written all wrong. We all know people like that. My boss sucks so bad, I can't even do my job.
That's funny, you're right. Stepping away from a W-2 position like we both have into this life, I did a 180. I know you did too.
Yeah.
It was a 180 and I feel like free.
Me too.
I'm free now. And it wasn't too long in. I know for some people it's kind of a scary thing. For me, I was like,
Me too.
I was like, finally, I was free. You know, I could run and do what I knew I could do and wanted to do. Never looked back. And it's interesting because I now see that in some of our employees, no matter what age they are. Like I had, 17 years of American Airlines, not counting other corporate positions, but even just that one company. So you could see that, all right, breaking some habits after 17 years, that's a little bit. Not really. And what we have employees that maybe have 1 or 2 years even, and they are having trouble with it. So I'm constantly even telling our staff sometimes, like, hold on a moment, everybody. Let's all keep in mind, you don't work at fill in the blank anymore. We can do what we want. There's not like a big corporate checklist that we have to go down. We can pivot. We can change things. We can make decisions. We can, all kinds of good stuff that we can do because this is now our little company. And, within our little company, within our little land company too, with like my transaction coordinator and our people doing mail and things like that, like, hey, you got a better way. Let's do it.
If you're the kind of person that takes responsibility for everything and if you're in a job, you're constantly saying to yourself, yep, I'm going to do it your way, boss. I just got the memo. I'll change this.
Right.
And you're frustrated by that. If you're saying some version of, if I could have control of this whole department and freedom to do this, this, and this, I would make it 14 times more productive. Actually, to the point where I probably wouldn't have to work as hard or at all. I would just oversee this whole thing. This is for you. Mm-hmm. You are a born entrepreneur. If you're the kind of person who is going to look for some vehicle, some type of entrepreneurial opportunity, like buying and selling land or owning a convenience store or anything that's going to escort you out of the problematic scenario that you're in, this is not going to work for you.
I can see possible people in our group. Is this where this is coming from? That you see them
It's
carrying?
coming from my dream catcher.
Oh. That's awesome. Steven's dream catcher's right here.
Joe's a Cherokee Indian, so I can harass her about some Native American Indian stuff.
That's awesome. All right. I thought maybe you were picking up on nuances from people within our group that are carrying over some mindsets that they need to let loose.
No.
Okay.
I just think, well, you know what? This will really help. This will kind of really help make my point. I quit my final W-2 job because, and I'm not the gauge by end of this thing. I'm just giving you a circumstantial situation that it's almost no one can fail in this circumstance. Mm-hmm. I had a W-2 job. It was a very, very, very good job in investment banking. And I went to an auction, bought a ton of property. And at the same time, a tax deed auction. And then I bought a bunch of property from a real estate agent in northern Arizona. Tons and tons of property, probably 200 or 300 properties in a tranche. And then I started selling them off on the internet. And so this is all while I'm going to my regular W-2 job, complaining and saying all the stuff that I just described. And so 6 months later, this didn't all happen in 6 months. It happened over years. But the last straw is what I'm describing. So I'm selling all this property on the internet at after 6 p.m. every night and on the weekends, and I liquidated almost all of it, and there's $600,000 or $700,000 of cash in there. And so and honestly, I wasn't really looking at it that much. I was just concentrating on the sales part of it. I remember sitting down with myself one weekend saying, I mean, it's now or never. I mean, can I replicate land acquisitions like this to sustain it so I don't have to work? So I quit, and I did. And I did replicate it, and here we are. This is many, 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 many years ago. So I took the pressure off of myself. I didn't know it at the time. I thought I was doing it all wrong. There was no instruction manual. I don't know. I just had to believe in myself, I guess, which I honestly didn't back then. But I took the financial pressure off of myself entirely. I had a huge, massive financial cushion, and it allowed me to mentally say, if I fail at this for a while, I still will ultimately succeed because I can screw a lot of stuff up financially and still be okay. This is a scenario, and Jill's the same situation. Jill and I went to an auction, a lot of years, many, many, many years ago. We bought properties. We bought probably 10,000 properties that day.
I remember that.
And so on the way back in the car, she's like, I think this is about it. This is after probably a full year of you smashing it on the internet, selling property that I had left over. And so it was just the right time. This is not bragging. This is informational to you. So there's no pressure on her. She put herself in a situation where she had all this inventory to sell now, and that's her forte. She knew she was good at it, so she's staring at a potential balance sheet between converting assets, land, into cash in the millions. And so she made a logical decision. This is it. I'm going to quit my job.
We have a stack of D's this thick, and you're like, you got to quit your job.
What we didn't do.
Done. I'll sell this stuff.
What we didn't do is try out buying and selling land with $13 in our bank account.
No.
Expecting that vehicle is going to save us somehow.
True.
So I'm not...
It's probably a year or two in.
Set yourself up to succeed is my point. Don't expect that something is going to... this is not the lottery or a casino, or you're not going to find something new about yourself. It's only going to go the other way. We were already successful at it.
Yeah.
We were just converting that talent to work for ourselves and each other.
It's perfect.
Let's take a look at another one of our favorite land acquisitions from our weekly Thursday member webinar.
So 2.5 acres, Riverside County, legal access from the parcel to the west.
Platted easement. Excellent.
Okay. Needs some boulders removed to get through the platted easement. Adjacent to custom homes. Mobile's okay. Water main is one parcel away. Next to the easement, power pole, same as the water and septic area. Everybody's alive, quiet, sits at the end of the road, half fence already, very flat and buildable compared to nearby parcels. A few boulders, but nothing in the way aside from. People like boulders. People want to keep boulders. I like the boulders. Could sell for $90,000.
On the easement, though.
But you can move them and keep them and still be cheaper than any other parcel of similar size. Originally accepted offer of 58, but he got him down to 35.
Ooh,
wow.
Okay. Now we're talking $35,000 for this.
And it's flat.
I probably would buy this. Like, what's the value of this?
Yeah, and it's 2.5 acres.
Guess, please guess, Joe. You know this area, so do I. What do you think the value of this house is?
510.
500,000.
510. Sold for 370.
863.
Oh,
I would buy this. Hunter, you've been very patient.
yeah.
You presented about 19 deals to us over the last 3 months, and we're like, nope, no way, hell no. And we're both like, yeah, you should. This is a great price.
We've got the Native American something going on next to it that time. Is it like a Native American cemetery? So will you toggle back to that, please?
Easement runs along the top of the southern parcel.
Okay, there. So it's going to run along there. Okay, I see that.
And it's already kind of half done. You can see the boulders and
Where's
stuff.
Where's the moto track? Oh, this moto.
I think that's more of a...
The kids horsing around track. Can you drop a guy down there? Can we go see?
Let me, yeah.
I want to see it.
Where is this in Riverside?
South.
Okay,
Paris.
way south. I would buy this. I would buy this property.
Okay.
I would not move boulders. I would tell the story.
Oh, yeah.
And no, it's just not my thing. I know Riverside. Riverside's
Yeah.
always up and coming compared to everything else in LA.
Even when I was a kid, it was affordable. People
Yeah.
people commute to LA from Riverside. I'm like, how do you do that?
I would buy this.
And with the kids in the back, and they drop them at the daycare by their office, and then
Right.
they drive home.
Yep.
So Yep. A couple lots to the south went for 70,000 on that street. So
Well, that wasn't a hard decision. Jill, you have something inspirational to share.
Yes, I do.
I'm scared.
No, it's good. You're gonna love it because
This is usually when I find out what's wrong in my life.
No, this is the opposite. This is gonna be me throwing myself under the bus for you.
What?
Hold on. Jack has sometimes in the right way and sometimes in the less than desirable way brought something to my attention this week.
Oh, jeez.
That I can improve upon.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to put a plastic bag over my head.
I would like to let Jack know and you know that message received. You are correct. And I want to bring it up here because it's important for not only myself, but for everyone. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, you need to be present.
Oh, that's good advice for anyone.
Uh-huh.
Me, first of all, geez.
It has been pointed out. There's times that, hey, we're over here, we're having a meeting. Are you here? Because I'm doing two things. Like, oh, I could have used your input on that. You missed the question, whatever it is. Because I was not focused. And so I'm really good at it on the phone. You know what's really funny? There's times, you know how to do it and you know what I'm talking about. There are some situations where I do dig in. Like if I'm on the phone with a seller, I block out everything else and that's the right thing to do. So
Which is why you're so successful at it.
I know, thank you. But I let it slip in other parts of my life. So I want to remind everyone, you know, we all, especially as a woman, you know, there's a lot of female investors in my group. Yay. So this is kind of for you guys, but in particular, because women are so good at multitasking, sometimes we take it too far. I think that's what I was doing. I think I was I'm like, I can be in this meeting, I can do an audit, and I can solve this problem all at the same time. Not really. You know, I mean, even though I am, and I'm getting things done, there's times where you need to show up and be present for someone or something, and that is more important. Even though you could do both, you're delivering the wrong message.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's, I think, what I was doing more than anything. Even if I was really part of the meeting and I was really there, I'm like, oh, I got this. And I really did. I heard everything everybody said. But the appearance was I was not present, and that's not what I want. I want everyone to feel that, you know, if I'm sitting here in the room with you, it's because I want to be here and I want you to, and you deserve it, you know, and I want to give that. So that's it. Just decide throughout your day, as you're planning your day, you know, be really mindful and detailed. Like I have even a little note here and I'm checking off things and my phone's not with me. You very nicely called me out and you are correct. I was slipping and I want you to show up and be present or don't be there at all. It's okay to not be there. If you're like, I have something I have to do, that's totally fine. And then you're present for that. And then you come back.
That's the greatest advice ever. I wrote it a lot of years ago. I read a technical paper about multitasking. And it was cited all kinds of resources. I don't know if it came from somebody's dissertation or what. This is a lot of years ago. The title was "There's no such thing as multitasking," which I agree with. And it's too bad that there's this cliche out there that women are good at multitasking. And the fact is, what I really think that came from is women have been. I'm not so sure it's as true today as it was in the past, in the 1950s. Let's call it American 1950s, where women were expected to do 42 things, and men were expected to go to work. And so, there's no such thing as multitasking. You can't do two things at once. Period. You're not better at it or worse at it than male or men or women or any of that stuff. And I absolutely believe that. If you're doing two things at once, you're spending half of your capacity on each of those things.
Do you know what I think is really happening, honestly? Is that I think women are really good at jumping back and forth.
Well, I think women are really good at
I can jump into this file. Got it. Oh, and I answer the phone on it.
That's what I think.
So,
I also think women are hardwired for appearance more than men. So they can make it look good. They can kind of fake it, and they can say, "Yeah, I am paying attention." No,
faking is a whole nother conversation.
It's not a gender thing. It's not a gender thing. It's really not. Let's just say people. People are, some people are better at presenting themselves and care about their appearance, and some people it's not as important. And there's no such thing as multitasking. Period. You're either showing up or you're not.
That's fair. Or you know what? My point is, even if you are good at it, because there's an art, we can talk all day about that. So
you can take this a step further, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but what I think is really going on, and it taps into the entrepreneurial rat race. Do you want to be there?
That's what I just said. Plan your day, be mindful about what you're doing, and be there or don't. If you're like, and it happens with us. There's some meetings like I know you had a meeting at like 9 or 9:30. You had a meeting before our big group meeting, and I used to be a part of it. And I don't know, somehow I'm uninvited, and I'm happy to be uninvited. I don't want to be there.
No, that was unintentional.
Oh, good.
Because we were wondering where you were.
Oh, I'm not even on it for some reason.
Do you want me to leave you off of it?
Yeah. Because I don't want to be there. It's your team.
Done and done.
It's like, I think you used to include me in your team meeting, so I'd just be in the loop. No, I don't need to be in the loop. I'm totally fine. You guys go do your thing. That's kind of funny. You thought I was like putting my middle finger up to you guys?
No, I just said oversight or something like that.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. No, I hear you guys. I'm like, no. So like I said, be present, show, if you want to be there, be there. If you don't, and think about the message that you're sending.
Yep.
What do you have to share with us today? Something informational?
Yeah, mine's called When to Quit. And I mean this at all levels. That's a universal question that we all kind of ask ourselves. Well, I don't like my job. I haven't liked it for 15 years, but I'm in it now. Do I quit now or not? It's such a, and I don't have the answers here. It has to do with when to quit anything, when to quit a relationship, when to quit trying to buy and sell land if it's not working for you, and on and on and on. When do you actually quit? I always quit things way too late. And so as I get older, I'm trying to constantly improve in decision making and performance and all of that for whatever we're working on. And one of my things is to not wait as long to and I don't mean quit at like life. I just mean I've been working with this person to do a deal for how long, and it's just not going to work. Should I quit sooner or later? Or do we wait it out? Give everybody the benefit of the doubt. This is kind of a philosophical.
This is interesting.
Philosophical question and it came up because I'm not good at it. I quit too late. Do you quit too late?
17 years in American Airlines. Did I not say that enough?
I mean, quit your job.
10 minutes. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
no. It's funny that you're right. Here's what's funny about this. I wonder if you listening are the same. We both we quit too late. We give stuff like, I like to think I gave it every possible chance to work. I fire too late. I gave them every possible chance to redeem themselves. But what we don't do is we don't sit around saying, let's start this company. We're like, ready, go.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? We're the opposite when it comes to that. We're slow to stop something, but we're very fast to start something.
This all came up because I have a really good friend who's he's pushing 80. He's in his mid to late 70s. He's been a government contractor from a manufacturing, like CNC machinery manufacturing standpoint.
80?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he's mid 70s, let's just say. And his business has slowed down substantially for a lot of reasons, and he knows what they are. He knows exactly. It's largely stuff's got outsourced to overseas, and he's got he's an incredible difficult time hiring CNC machine operators, and for any that stay there for any amount of time. And so he's selling his business, and he's, I've known this guy for a lot of years, and he's like, I wish I would have sold this 5 years ago, which falls into when to quit.
Yeah.
So how to translate that to us and to you as a land investor and a company owner? He has and soon will have had a single point of failure. We don't have that. We have this deal over here that's going to work in Tennessee, and it worked or it didn't. We have one in Texas, and on and on and on. So we are self-diversified. And so the real question is, all right, I've got 16 million bucks in the bank, or 8 million in the bank, or even 2. When do you quit? You don't want to quit when there's no money left, because you didn't quit at all. That forced you to quit. You don't want to be in a situation where decisions are being made for you now, which I think is he is kind of in that situation.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be all depressing here, but the moral of the story is you have complete control.
Oh, good.
Generate tons and tons of money.
Save us here.
But have the intelligence or the foresight to say, you know what? I'm going to quit while I'm on top. Like I just remember seeing an interview. This is a great example, and I'll leave it at this, with Jerry Seinfeld, because he said, you know, people come to me all the time and say, where's the second series? Oh. Where's the, Seinfeld reunion? Where's the it was so successful. Everybody loved it so much. And his answer is, remember the Lucy show? I Love Lucy. And one of this black and white with Ricky, and it's funny. And then everybody's just, it's gut wrenching laugh, and was all live. Do you remember the show after that? Lucy does something? Not really. Do you remember the show after that where she's single and it's all in color? And no, I don't. I never saw those shows, by the way. I only saw the first one because she didn't know when to quit. She smashed it with that first show.
It's interesting. Why doesn't you just pick a number? Can't you just pick a number and say, when I hit this goal, like for us?
You know when to quit then.
I do know when to quit. Except the number changes. That's a whole nother show. Hey, don't forget, you can reach us for questions or for help just by sending a note to our team at support@landacademy.com.
Join us next Wednesday for another interesting episode. This is where we buy land cheap and sell it for more on the internet. We're Jack and Jill.
Sorry, there was a little sentence. I missed that. I was waiting for that last sentence. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.